Howdy y'all, Jackson here with Ictric Studios, and welcome back to another episode of Just Some Rambling. Not all that much I want to talk about today, so hopefully it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode and maybe less rambly than normal. I'm just going to talk about my team games and then a couple other news tidbits, one in the world of college sports and then another in just general entertainment. So, anyways, I just want to go over the Michigan game, where Michigan beat Rutgers 52 to nothing. It was well. It was better than I expected. I didn't expect them to get a shutout, and I didn't expect them to score 52 points. So they beat my expectation. Uh, John Geddes was on the sideline today, as opposed to up in the booth like he had been the previous 3 weeks. So hopefully that made a difference on the offense. It's a little too early to tell though, because of just how poor they were the 3 previous weeks, and I don't really have a gauge on how how bad Rutgers is yet, because they're obviously not good. I don't know if they're awful, or just awful. Um, so there's no way to gauge whether or not this was that good of a victory yet. They obviously beat the spread, but Shea Patterson looked better, but still not great. Yeah, 17 of 23, 276 touchdown interception. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns, but they were all like yarders, so it wasn't really that impressive. They could have easily just handed off the ball. But anyways, uh, looking on toward the next week, we play home against Iowa, number 14. If they play like they did against Rutgers, they should be able to get a win. But if they play like they did the previous 3 weeks, they're going to lose. So, pretty much a toss-up going into that game. But it hopefully will be a close one, so it should be a decent game. On to the pro scene, my Bears played the Vikings at home. They won 16 to 6. Uh, the offense looked about the same as it had been looking, but with our backup quarterback as opposed to our starter, because Trubisky is out with, I believe, a shoulder injury, and I think it's like a partially torn something in his shoulder, so he's out for at least a couple weeks. Chase Daniels is our backup. He came and played fine, 22 of 30, 195 yards, touchdown, no interceptions. Yeah. The defense played well. Not really sure if that's. Well, I mean, the defense is obviously good, but you know, uh, Kirk Cousins led offense in against a above 500 team is not that hard to shut down, based on previous record, I guess. So they should have won the game. They did win the game. Next week they're in London against the Raiders. So they should be able to win that game, even with Chase Daniels playing, because it's not really much of a step difference between him and Trubisky right now. In fact, he might actually be slightly better at the moment. Um, Khalil Mack's probably obviously going to be playing hard, because this is the team that essentially gave up on him against the Raiders. So so he's going to be motivated to probably murder Derek Carr a couple times. So expect like 1 or 2 sacks at him. So I think they should come away with the win, even on jet lag or whatever from playing in London. Though both teams technically will be jet lag, because it's not really a home game for the Raiders. Next thing I want to talk about is the bill that was passed in California, for student athletes to be able to make money off their likenesses and stuff. I think this is a good thing. It's not coming into effect for a couple years. Yeah, 2023. They should be able to make money on their name, image, and likeness, but they shouldn't be paid by their schools. Is my thought process. Is the schools shouldn't pay them, but they should be able to sign autographs for money, go to a convention or whatever. Because for some of these athletes, they're not going to make it at the next level, so they should be able to cash in on their popularity now, as far as I'm concerned. like somebody from San Jose State, the best guy in San Jose State. I don't know who it'd be off the top of my head. I'm sure he could make some money selling autographs right now in San Jose, but they're probably not going to make it at the next level. So he should be able to cash in a little bit. Um, Obviously outside of it. So I think they should be able to get brand deals, whatnot, but should not be paid by the schools, which is what it seems like this is going. Um, if you want to know my opinion on that, it comes down to how much schools actually do pay uh, in, accommodations and training and everything that goes into student athletes, because they are paid in not money but in items and such. There's a good research thing by the Knight Commission where it breaks down all the spending. I'll link it in the description. It's a cool thing to look at because you see how much money schools spend in conferences. You can do everything. You can even look. I believe it's all of Division 1, and you can even look at FCS and non-football schools and how much they spend on athletes, and you can really see the difference in how much money is spending uh, conference-wide and stuff. It's really interesting. I advise taking a look at it because you're gonna be surprised on how much how little there is for actual revenue. In fact, there are some schools I'm pretty sure actually. I mean, obviously they're probably mixing the book a little bit based on how much they're how much they're actually making versus what they put on the books. But you'll actually see that the margin for profit isn't as great as you'd think it would be. Let me. Anyways, last thing I want to talk about is just in general entertainment news. They have the whole Spider-Man MCU thing that came out. I'm actually disappointed by it. I was happy when Sony cut off the deal because I actually prefer non-Marvel movies as opposed to Marvel movies, the MCU movies. I was actually kind of disappointed when oops. I was actually kind of disappointed when Disney bought Fox because it was going to be the end of probably the end of the X-Men universe, and I prefer the X-Men universe over the MCU. Even though the movie quality is a little bit more shaky, I prefer the highs of that were better than the highs of the MCU, at least in my opinion. Yeah. Anyways, but it's a two-movie deal. One Spider-Man 3, and then one other appearance in some other movie. Will probably be like an Avengers movie or something. Would be my guess. Uh, but the one good thing that came out of this was that he can still appear in the Spider Verse. So that means we can at least hopefully still get the. I really want to see the Tom Hardy Venom versus the Tom Holland Spider Man way more than I want to see him in doing anything in the MCU. Because I liked Venom, and I really liked Tom Hardy as Venom. I thought he was the best part of that movie. So I really want to see them. I think they could work off each other pretty well. So I'm looking forward to that way more than anything in the MCU. So hopefully that movie comes out sometime, or at least hopefully they get to do that sometimes before this deal's up, because I'd rather see that than him with the what's left of the MCU, the B tier superhero that they have left. So, anyways, that was some rambling. Uh, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more great football content, because that's mostly what this is. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Bye.